Hey everybody, this is me Christina, your favorite automation junkie, and today we are going to talk about custom functions in Excel. And in particular, the custom functions we can create with Python. You probably already know that recently Microsoft rolled out one of its most groundbreaking updates in Excel and allowed us to use Python code directly in our spreadsheets to manipulate our data sets and in general get the best of our data. And if you've been around Excel for a while, we can all admit that creating an elaborate formula, especially when it comes to conditional statements with a lot of variables, might be quite challenging. And here kicks in Python with, I believe, one of its most amazing possibilities to create functions, define them, and later on use them around our spreadsheet. So let's move on with our example for today. Today's example will be inspired by my work as a Revit consultant. What I do for a living is to train teams to work with Revit, which is a 3D modeling software that offers a database solution for the construction industry primarily. And what I usually do is first evaluate the expertise of the team members, and then I decide to which curriculum I have to assign them. As you can see for yourself, this requires us to evaluate more than one criteria. In my case, responsibilities, current software, and prior experience with Revit. And if I approach this the usual way, by creating an Excel function, it will be much more difficult for me to further edit and debug if necessary in the future. But in Python, it will be much easier. But before we move on with the actual code, I think it's very important for those of you who are not familiar with standard coding in general to understand what's a function. A function is nothing more than a reference to a piece of code. And whenever you code this reference in your code, the same sequence of actions will be performed and you're going to get the same result. Let's switch to Python mode. Python functions have the following syntax. Start with def, followed by the name of the function, which in our case will be assigned curriculum. Open brackets. In the brackets, you have to define the parameters of the function, or practically what you're going to pass off to the function to start off all the actions that are encoded in it. In our case, it will be our data frame. So I'm just going to type df. And what you also need to add is what this function is going to return as an end result. For now, I'm just going to use df as a result as well. And as you can see right now, we have just none. And if we switch to Excel value, we also will have a none value as a result. But at this point, our function is defined. So theoretically, we can use it to pass off to add a data frame and get the same data frame as a result. So let's try and do that. Choose any cell in your spreadsheet. Call your function, and as you can see, you can choose it from the drop down. And here you can just go ahead and grab your data frame. Go for a Control Enter. And as a result, you should expect the same data frame. And as you can see, we get exactly the same values. not all Python functions are that simple. And to make our function a little bit more interesting, of course, we have to add our piece of code, and its place is here just between the name of the function and the result of the function. Of course, you don't need to be an expert Python developer to take advantage of this feature. What I did myself was to go and type my current data frame in ChatGPT together with my criteria for choosing the curriculum, and I got a code that is pretty much functional. And of course, I had to do some minor alterations to get the right one, but the result was pretty good. As you can see, I've defined a list called curricula. I did some minor transformations of my current data frame that I'm going to feed the function with. And the only thing I need to redefine is the end result, which will be the list of corresponding curricula. Hit Ctrl Enter, and as you can see, our code changed and our result changed immediately. And as I want to place my list of curricula here in the table, I will just go ahead, call out the function again, pass off the data frame, and hit Ctrl Enter. Oh yeah, I forgot to add my headers. That's the problem. I get my result as a Python list. I want to switch to an Excel value, and now I get the right curriculum for each team member. If you like this content, please make sure to like and subscribe.